What's up, friends? Welcome back to our channel.
YouTube.
If you are new here, glad you have found our corner of the internet.
Yes, and you're here at a good time because we are continuing with our love story, our dating series. I think that's what we call it, right? Our love story. No, it's
None of
How
the
We
above.
Met. It's How We Met.
How we met.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a whole year, y'all.
Yeah.
We initially told our how we met story in the middle of a pandemic, which
Yeah.
we are kind of still in.
Yep.
And 1 year later, we're still telling this story, and this
Still in a pandemic too.
still in a pandemic.
But this is part 6.
Part 6. What is that? Okay.
Okay, part 6. This
Is it part 6?
This is part 6.
Okay.
The wedding season.
The wedding season, guys. Okay, we ended the story
With the proposal.
With the proposal. If you
Yeah.
have not caught up on that, go back and watch that because we ended with Frederick proposing
Yeah.
to me saying no. I mean,
Yeah,
guys.
no.
Yes.
After the proposal, I had a party set. All our friends and close relatives that we wanted got the invite to be there, and most of them showed up.
No, they didn't, guys. Y'all, as I said when I was getting proposed
Yeah.
to, I was smack dab in the middle
Yep.
of the stuff going on with my family, and crazy enough is I thought maybe it would just change, like
Yeah.
you'd get this proposal and then like it would just change, and it didn't.
It didn't.
And so in a step of obedience to what the Lord was telling me, somehow I'm like, there's going to be my reward. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to show
Yeah.
up and we're going to do our wedding season and we're all going to come together. But that's not what happened because they did not even take my phone call when I was proposed.
When you were proposed to.
Proposed to.
And they being.
They being my parents.
Yeah.
Both of them. So that kind of kicked off wedding season.
Wedding season for us.
So I'm so pumped. I'm
Yep.
going back to work. I'm letting everyone know about The Rock.
Because you had a rock on them fingers. I put a ring on it, like Beyonce be saying.
Beyonce.
If you like it, then you put a ring on it. I put a ring on it.
He put a ring on it and just kicked off this total faith journey
Yeah.
of walking with God to this promise, which was
Yeah.
getting married, without the support that I felt and I dreamed of my entire life. Women, ladies,
Yeah.
maybe guys.
Y'all got y'all scrapbooks.
We got our scrapbooks and we
Little Pinterest boards. You got it all. You got it all lined up. The type of dress you want.
Yes.
What do you want it to look like? The music. Did you think all that?
I wasn't crazy. Okay, but
Because
no.
guys, we don't think of none of that.
I did have a good pin board. And
Oh, you did have a pin
I
board.
did have a good pin board, but really only when I started the first day I dated. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa, you busted out the wedding pin board the first day we dated?
Really.
Man, I'm
Like, don't
what?
give yourself that much credit.
Come on, let's go.
Y'all, this shirt is giving me 8th grade Jacqueline vibes. I just want to say that. Like, I
It's
was
funky
all about
fresh.
the button up.
It's funky fresh.
Anyways,
Obviously, she said yes. She has a ring, and we're like, the next step obviously is to plan a wedding.
and I think if it wasn't for Frederick is a man of action.
I am.
He is what the Bible describes as a total action man,
Yeah.
of faith with works
Yeah.
and
I'ma
stepping
get it
and
done.
believing. And so he really just, I feel like that next day you just kicked it off. You're
Oh
like,
yeah, I
"We gotta
started
get our
researching
wedding."
everything because at this point, I mean, since her parents didn't show up to the proposal party, they knew about it and I had invited them. So I had in my mind, and we had in our minds that we're gonna have to pay for our wedding by ourselves and we're gonna have to do all this stuff and just trust God. And
Yeah.
at the time we were like, where are we gonna find all this money? Like where are we gonna find the money
But
to do all this?
we had some.
We had savings.
Well, I mean, we
between-
had savings, so I think that next weekend we just had a budget meeting.
Yeah,
and
we
we're
did.
like, okay, let's think the worst. Let's think if
It goes south.
If it goes
South
south,
and then south.
and My parents don't give us
Yeah.
any money for the family.
Or never talk to us ever again.
Or never-
Yeah, pretty much disown us
Which
completely.
I never really thought that.
Yeah, we never
But
thought that. But you know, you got to think.
But then you never know.
I mean, people hold
I
grudges
laugh
and
about
all
it
that.
now. It's a very, if you're going through this, it is
Yeah,
a very
it's tough.
tough. I can talk about this
Yeah.
so freely 5 years later.
Absolutely.
5-year anniversary. What?
Exactly. And you can laugh now because at the time you weren't laughing. Like we had times on the couch where we talked about it and looked at the budget and talked about doing all this stuff
Yeah.
and you know, I remember a time specifically on the couch where you cried thinking about how are we gonna do all this? How are we
Yeah.
gonna be able to pay all this and
Yeah. Well,
and
because
make this thing happen because you want your wedding to be beautiful and as you
Yeah.
imagine it, and you don't want to be dulled down or anything just because of circumstances
Exactly.
or who's in support or who's
well,
not.
I think I got to a point. I was like, I just want to marry Frederick.
Yeah.
I really cared about pictures, getting a nice dress, and
Yeah.
if it was just going to be me and him.
And venue and the look of the venue.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
we even decided like maybe not
True.
because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like, can we even afford a venue?
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, like the little things that people pressure you into getting
Yeah.
for a wedding, we were like, yeah, okay.
Oh,
like
we
no
don't need
one,
that, yeah.
we were so basic that
Yeah.
it was like, what is important? Music. The people that we love gathered around, some good food. We couldn't do a video.
We couldn't do a
which was
video, so we missed the video. But yeah, we started planning and like looked at it and crunching numbers. Like we started researching places and you know, venues are expensive. And through all of this, we started seeing God move in such
Yeah.
a crazy way that He constantly confirmed to us, like, I've got you.
You're
And
making the right.
You're making the right decision, and my hand is on this marriage because there was like miracle after miracle. We saw a venue that we liked, and basically this venue was more expensive
Straight
than we
out
could
of a
afford.
Disney movie.
Yeah, we had a certain day that we selected, and it was going to be more because we want to get married on a Saturday, and you know, weekends are more. So basically, we thought we can get this venue, and
We just didn't know.
we talked to the lady. We went there, reviewed it, we liked it, and we told us like, hey, we like it, but here's our situation. This is what we can do, and it was a lot less than what the venue is even worth.
And
in
if you
all
know
honesty.
wedding venue things of the venues,
Things of
the
venues.
weddings. Friday, Saturday
That's
are
hot
your
night.
hot nights.
Hot night.
Like they're usually double the price.
Yup.
But I was like, no, I want a weekend wedding.
Yeah.
I don't want to get married on a Wednesday.
Fast forward, like the venue owner called us
Hmm.
and said, hey, I can't sleep without knowing that you guys have a date because we were gonna
She
wait
was
and see if the
restless.
date
She was
opened up.
tearing through the
And we were gonna
night.
wait closer to the wedding date that we picked up to see if it opened up to use the venue. She's like, I couldn't sleep. I just want you guys to have a date. And you tell me what date you wanna have your wedding and it's yours. So God moved in such a way that we got to pick the Saturday wedding that we wanted.
And
at
that
the
was
venue.
all Frederick.
And
He
that- yeah.
negotiated that. I just was like crying on the couch, and Frederick negotiated.
Yeah, so that was just miracle number one.
Someone ended up paying for our
Honeymoon. Yeah.
We got total discounts on food.
Yeah.
We had a friend who gave us like, you know, those really nice photo booths where you can do the black and white photos, which is like my favorite thing in the world to do at parties. Gave it to us for like $100. Our photographer friend, who's a brilliant
Awesome.
photographer, gave me a like slashed all the way down rate to do picture. I mean, everything
so
was
crazy.
like all wrapped up, fit into our budget. And then I only had $500 for my dress, guys.
Yep.
Ladies, okay, let me just tell you. You might be thinking, but I need like a $30,000,
Yeah.
$4,000, $10,000, $20,000.
$40,000
When you get your
dress.
budget, let me just say this, okay? When you give God your budget, because
Yep.
He's given you that money, at the
Yep.
end of the day, it's His money, and you say, this is what you've allotted me, what can I do with
Yeah.
this? Basically, what can you do with this? It's like the 5
You
loaves.
bring your 5 loaves. I
Bring
was
your-
going to say that.
yeah.
Bring your 5
Bring your
loaves and
5
them 2 fish.
loaves, 2 fish. God,
Yep.
this is what I have. What can we do?
Watch it multiply. That.
So I ended up finding, I couldn't go to any of the fancy
No.
boutique dress places that I thought about going. I thought about just wearing like a little silk number, but that wasn't
A
going to
little
be
silk
appropriate. Silk see-through number.
Just walk
And
down
I
the
thought
aisle
my
so
grandma was
everybody
going
can
to be
see you.
there. So
Yeah,
And then I
not
went
for
to
ground.
some
Anybody
real-
else?
I
Some
went
real
to-
risque.
some real, let's say, ratchet dress pit
Yeah.
places.
We're not gonna say where. It is.
I bet. Okay, we're not going to say where it is.
Some ratchet. Dress
Some ratchet,
places?
and I thought, you know what? Is this borderline quinceañera? So the point is, I just explored my options, and I ended up finding Vera Wang has like a lower line,
Designer.
and I found one exactly for $498.
Was that pre-tax or post-tax?
I don't remember. But the crazy thing through all this experience, as God is just like blessing us, and friends are
Yep.
showing up and like literally handing us checks.
Yeah.
Like, you remember that? People were
people
like
writing checks
writing
and
us
say,
checks.
"Hey, God told me to
and
give you this."
God
and
told me
I'm
to
like,
give
"Oh
you
my
this.
gosh,
and
what is this?"
It just felt like an explosion of comfort and support when God says He's going to show
Yeah.
up. And where I thought I needed that from my earthly father and my earthly mother, my heavenly father showed up and showed off. Through all this, if anything, when you're going through something, your relationship with God, if it is strengthened, all that was worth it to go through.
Absolutely.
And so the crazy part about this is my sister got engaged.
Yeah.
At the same time that I got engaged. And to top it off, to strengthen your belief in a situation,
Yes,
is
true.
my sister, and I love my sister and love their story and their love story, but her relationship and wedding and engagement season was celebrated by
Yeah.
my family. Oh gosh, y'all. And so my mom showed up for my sister's dress try on. They got her the dress. They did all the things. Yada, yada, yada. We'll leave it for a book.
Yep. We'll leave it for a book. All the stuff that
All
you missed out.
that-
And you missed out on all that stuff.
And-
you didn't have that.
And nothing was acknowledged that I was also in my wedding season.
Yeah.
And so...
It's almost like it was a hope that maybe it would
We
like
would break up.
it would fail
Yeah.
and it wouldn't happen,
It wouldn't
and
happen.
you just because not just wait it out and
Exactly.
watch it fail kind of situation.
So-
But that didn't happen.
So there was the dualness
Yeah.
of, while we're dating,
Yeah.
all my friends getting married and
Yep.
things like that, and wow, like
And watching
their
their
family
experiences
and their
how it's so different than
experiences.
how ours was at the time, and you're wondering like,
Yeah.
why do I have to go through this? And
why do I have to go through this?
almost like
And
it's not
now,
fair sometimes, but now you realize why.
Yeah, and then to top it off, I had to go through it with my own sister and have such a contrast in our
Yeah.
experiences and our celebrations. But I really think if you can celebrate people
Yeah.
in the midst of what you're struggling with or what you feel like you're lacking, God literally stamps a blessing on that.
Absolutely.
You all know those people that if you're having a baby and they're wanting a baby,
Yeah.
it's really hard for them to show up. But my stance in life is always believe that God has it for you in His timing and
As well.
show up and celebrate those
Yeah.
people.
Because your time will come.
Because your time will come. But all that to say, wedding season with Frederick, one, drew us closer.
Yeah.
So I saw the kind of man that Frederick was in that, like his faith walk
Yeah.
and his believing for like the big things and not settling even when it came to our wedding. Even though we have a small budget, it was like,
Yeah, doing it.
giddy.
You saw me getting stuff done and moving the needle forward.
I
and
actually
getting
did. I was like,
'cause we
that
had a
is
lot-
really
'cause
sexy.
planning a wedding is a lot of work. There's so much
Yeah.
details to it, and we just and I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but between the proposal and our wedding date was like 4.5 months.
We didn't even say
we
that.
didn't say that. We literally had 4.5 months to plan our wedding.
Yes. Was
After
it 4?
we-
It was 3.5.
Was it 3.5?
3.5. It was not
3.5. I thought it was 4.5.
Guys, we got engaged and got married in 3.5 months.
So you can imagine,
Because
like,
why wait when the
Yeah, why
passion
wait?
is burning in your
that's what I'm
body? It's
saying.
like,
You won't wait. You can't. You gotta.
we had waited
know,
long enough.
when
I'm like,
you
I'm
know,
ready
you
to
know.
get into the
You know. Well, we dated 2.5 years, so we already dated in all kind of seasons. Like we had fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter,
Oh,
spring,
yeah.
summer, fall, winter, spring.
Spring. I was like, I've seen this man clothed in enough seasons.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say you trying to see this man unclothed, but we're not gonna say all that.
Except the one time I saw you on the beach with your shirt off.
Oh, it's a
Frederick,
beach.
let
It's
me
a
just
beach.
tell you, Frederick
It's a
never
beach.
took his shirt
I
off,
never did.
even while we
I still
were
don't.
dating. Okay. Haven's back there laughing.
Yeah.
I never even saw him with his shirt off while we were dating. This
No, I
is
kept
this
it
is
PG.
this is very true.
PG.
Until we went to the Bahamas together, and he
Yep.
came out of the ocean like a Baywatch man.
He did.
And I was like,
I came out there
I'm sorry, what? That's
like
what
a
you've been
young-
hiding in there?
like a young David Hasselhoff.
Okay, that's not appealing
I
at
don't think
all
it
to anybody.
No. But that's the only person I knew of Baywatch.
I
was like,
know.
ow. I was walking real slow out the water. Though.
You were, and you knew I
Slow
was kind
motion.
of slyly like taking a picture of you.
The point
I
is,
don't
we
even know
knew-
what we were saying. I'm
we
hot
knew,
and
we
bothered.
knew. Yeah, you can real flustered. We knew that we wanted to get married, and we knew that, you know what, we already decided. We both were on board. Like, this is it. We don't need more time. We dated enough time, and it's like God was putting His hand on it. And we're like,
Yeah.
let's move forward. Let's
Yeah.
start this chapter of life together.
Yep.
And because of what we had walked through, we already had. I feel like we had like a head start
Yep.
in facing some really big, really hard things together. So we had that foundational stuff already there, relationship wise.
Yeah.
Like, and we already were proving to each other that hey, we're gonna be unified in whatever life throws our way.
Yeah.
Like with how hard, how crazy it might be, we're still gonna be together on it, and that's. Like one of the
Because, yeah.
biggest things that was so attractive to me for you, because we're like, we already agreed, like, we're gonna be one unit and we're gonna face everything together forever.
Wow.
So,
One unit?
one unit.
One unit?
Why when I say that and then you have
I
to
just thought of
repeat
50
it?
Cent.
I know that's what I
One
thought.
unit?
One unit. When you were talking, I was thinking because I was thinking about something else. What I was going to say, not really listening to you.
Imagine that.
Knowing what God has said when people aren't celebrating you was like so huge
Yeah.
because you had to be totally for sure that this is what God has said.
Yeah.
And I even think without all the celebration, because sometimes you can make decisions because there's too
Yeah.
much celebration. People
Or
are like,
a lot
that's
of
the
opinions.
best guy and that's
Yeah.
so amazing.
The opinions
and
get you.
She's amazing and why would and you're sitting there going like, do I want to be with him or do y'all want to be with him?
Yeah, or am I losing
Am
my
I-
mind?
And so, as a recovering people pleaser,
Yeah.
I think the best thing in my life was to have not that approval from my parents.
Yeah.
Because
Help you
I was
grow.
the good kid my whole
Yeah.
life. I was like, do you approve? Do you like this? And it just separated me in a way that has forever changed my life. That I am more confident and bold in my decisions. And you would think, oh wow, you were 30 years old. What's the problem? And it's like, I'm telling you, you can be 50 years old and still seeking the
Yep.
approval of man. So when I look back to that season, I'm like, oh God, you really were. It was a discipline that I needed. It was him chiseling off so much.
Yeah.
I just like look back to that season, how sweet it was. If I could tell myself anything during that season,
What'd you
I would say relax more, not be so worried about that, and to enjoy our season
Yeah.
more.
You know what I tell myself?
What would you say?
No matter how crazy things get, just always hold on to what God's told you. Hold on to that tight, even when you have no sign that's showing that it's gonna work out that way. Just hold on to that. Hold on to that word God gave you, and trust God that His word will not turn up void.
Exactly. And
And move forward in confidence.
to move forward in confidence and know that if the arrows are still flying at you, because they were for us, to say that, you know, I
Yeah.
didn't talk to my parents again and they didn't ask me to not go through with it would be a lie, because
Yeah.
they did on multiple occasions. And so every time I had those conversations, I had to be like, no, I'm for sure in this. I'm going forward. And so community support was huge
Yeah.
for us during that time, and even family support.
Yeah, you had family and friends
I had
still
extended
supporting
family
you. Yeah, supporting us.
supporting me, and I think when I called my grandma and told her I expected her to be one way, and she wasn't, and there was so much freedom found in people just celebrating your decisions. So God came through with that emotional support that
Yeah.
I needed, but most importantly is my emotional support from Frederick. And I thought, just like you said, if we're in this together, like we're crossing this
Yeah.
together, like
You're doing it.
are we doing this?
Yeah.
Because if no one shows up, then
That's actually what we said on the couch the day when we were looking at budget and talking about making it, paying all these
Yeah.
stuff and like setting up the wedding and stuff. We were like, we doing this, right?
we're doing
Like we
it.
had to look at you. I was like, for real,
Like we're for real doing
because we
this.
didn't know what was going. We didn't know what the next day would look like. We didn't know what the
Yeah.
next week, the next year would look like. You know, with family and all this stuff, or even financially. But we just locked each other in and said, yes, we're doing it, and we moved forward, and it just.
I mean, you
from
know,
there, it's
you
like-
know, you're really doing it when you think of I can't get a flower arrangement, so I'm gonna have to put together these potted plants.
Yeah, like we got real, and that's another thing. Like we
Like,
got so creative
we got
in that
DIY
time.
creative.
Like we got DIY. Like we had a theme. We figured out a theme. Like we spray painted the decor for the centerpieces,
Yeah.
which was like a pineapple. Real pineapples. We spray painted gold, and because it was a vibe. Obviously, we started planning everything, and things started getting in motion, and start lining up venues, dresses, caterers, and
Invitations
went out.
That's when
People-
it's real when the invitation goes out.
Oh, absolutely.
And you even send it to the people who are like, this ain't gonna happen. And they're
Yeah.
getting that invitation in the mail.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, you send out an invitation, and people start confirming, and like you're wondering if people are gonna confirm or they're not, and
Yeah, and that's when it got, and I think what was crazy for us is the boundaries that we had to set, even like we didn't have the budget for everyone.
Yeah.
So we had to really cut a lot of people from the wedding, and that was very heartbreaking for me. And I'm just like,
you had an intimate setting.
I can't invite you guys all,
Yeah.
and I feel so sad, but also confident that the Lord knew who was going to be there. As we're getting closer to the wedding, like I'm really not like speaking too much to my family at this point. I mean, we're gathering,
Yeah.
but no one's still talking about the wedding.
About the elephant in the room.
And so I remember sitting one day at my desk, and I felt like the Lord said, I want you to ask your dad to walk you down the aisle. Sorry, what? What, Jesus? I don't think so. And so my dad was a very emotional and sensitive guy. This is why it was very hard.
Yeah.
My mom and I, we were always Latin spicing each other. So it was like one way with her, but for my dad, I was just like, he loved big moments and
Yeah.
celebrations. And even towards the end before, he just, I think, really wanted to get on board. Like, he didn't want to miss.
Yeah, he didn't want to miss.
He didn't want to miss it.
He doesn't like to miss.
He didn't
any
like
big
to
moment.
miss it. And so, while he was having a hard time, I went ahead, I sent him some cookies and to his work and to his desk. Later on, he had told Frederick and I that he bawled at his desk
Yeah.
when he received that.
Them cookies had that anointing on it. And Tiff's got that anointing.
Yeah, it just like,
Some of that anointing right now. I'm so hungry.
If there's a theme, if you go back to some of our stories,
Yeah.
Frederick one time sent me flowers
I did.
when I was broken up with
True.
him. So there is something powerful when we love
Listen to-
people
and you listen to the Holy
Spirit
And act.
and do something that does not
Yep.
make sense.
Yep.
And so that did not
In
make
obedience.
sense in obedience.
Yep.
He immediately called me and said yes. And that kind of ushered in this
turning point.
new, I didn't have to do that. And Frederick
Yeah.
ended up,
I
met with
ended up
him.
meeting with him by himself first,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 weeks before our wedding, actually, I met with both her parents at the same time, her
Yeah.
mom and her dad, and we had a great conversation. And
They had crucial
We
conversations.
had a crucial
And I had
conversation.
a very crucial conversation as well that was also in obedience to the Lord. And I won't go into too much
Yeah.
detail. But I think the point is that when God says to do it or to show up and to squash something or go forward, do it. What if we didn't? We didn't.
Yeah.
go,
What if we didn't?
What if we didn't?
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about it. After 5 years of marriage, I look at every good thing and I'm like, oh my gosh. The point is, in those 2 weeks before our wedding, my parents ended up paying for flowers, and my dad actually reimbursed me for the dress and showed up like, you know.
Yeah, they were
you know,
part of. They were part of everything else that we did. Like
everything. My dad would. We'll leave some.
Yeah,
of
we'll
the-
leave
We'll
some.
leave
Yeah,
it for
that's
the wedding story.
We're getting closer to the wedding, and you just have to.
We'll just finish it
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
Okay, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
watching
much
this
for
video.
watching this video. We love this series, and we're going to continue it. So, hope you guys are
Yes.
having a wonderful day, and be blessed and encouraged if you're walking through something similar. We
Trust
are
God.
here for you. Trust God. He's here. He's there for you way
He's
more.
there for you too. Bye, guys. Y'all, if y'all like this video, hit that thumbs up button, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with anyone you know that it might help them and encourage them to keep on.
Exactly. Okay.
Trust it.
They know.
Bye, guys.
Bye.